It's now been more than 2 weeks since Hurricane Ian's historic landfall in Florida, and much of the southwestern part of the state is, of course, still working to rebuild those many communities which were destroyed by the storm. Some of the hardest hit regions like Sanibel Island and Fort Myers Beach saw those entire neighborhoods reduced to rubble. But what now about the potential environmental impact caused by these record-breaking storm surge? I want to bring in David Tomasko. He's the executive director of the Sarasota Bay Estuary Program. He's joining us live for much more on this. Dave, thanks so much for being here. I particularly wanted to, a report that caught our eye, according to the Tampa Bay Times, is thousands of gallons of boat fuel from sunken vessels, as well as disinfectant from a county-operated water utility pipeline. Those were all released into Florida's waters during this storm. So environmentally, what kind of impact could this kind of contamination have?
Well, we're not really sure yet. One of the things we don't really know is just how bad of a problem we have. We think that we've had multiple tens of millions of gallons of wastewater overflows. We don't really know because so many of the reports are, greater than 1,000 gallons, but we don't know if that's 2 or 20. What we see when you go out into the field there is you'll see, most of the places on septic tanks, the water is so high that the septic tanks can't possibly be working correctly. There's portable toilets flipped over, floating around in the water in a number of locations. This was such a massive storm. It literally rained probably well in excess of 100 billion gallons coming down now into our waterways. And so, we've got rivers that don't have any oxygen left because of all the decomposing materials. So that's killing off the fish that are washing down. We've got really high levels of bacteria in certain locations. We have very low levels of oxygen in other locations. So right now, it depends on where you are, but yeah, that's a video I shot in Northport. It's just a mess in a lot of places and just a massive amount of fresh water that came into our systems.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, does the fact that it's still so early that you can't even fully wrap your head around how big this problem is keep you from taking concrete steps to try to fix them? Like, are we still in just the stage of surveying what the problems are?
Yeah, basically. We have a lot of our partners where some of the folks don't even have homes to go back to. So of my staff, I'm one of the few people that never lost electricity. Half of my staff didn't have electricity for several days, some of them for more than a week. We're trying to work and get water quality samples to laboratories where sometimes the staff at the laboratories don't have a home to go back to. But we are working our best with a bunch of volunteer efforts and a bunch of people who pulled talented staff together. And we have been monitoring the health of our waterways from roughly Sarasota down to Caloosahatchee. So it's a big stretch of the coastline, but we have an awful lot of people that don't have cars. Their cars got wrecked, but there's a lot of damage, and we're not quite sure exactly what the impact of the water quality will be, but it's not going to be good. It's not good right now.
Are you looking at a years-long recovery process here?
It depends on where you are. Where we are in Sarasota, we didn't have storm surge. We only had like 15 inches of rain. And we didn't have as strong of a wind that actually we had farther south. So the worst case scenario is when you have wind so strong that it blows all the leaves off of the trees and tips the trees over. Because think about like a compost heap, and all that organic material decomposing underwater. And in large stretches of our watershed, we've got basically all this decomposing vegetation, dead fish, no oxygen, high bacteria. And in other places, it's not so bad. So the recovery is going to depend upon where you were. The closer you were to the eye wall, the closer you were to the storm surge, the worse the water quality is going to be and the longer it's going to take.
All right, David Tomasko, we really appreciate your time, and we wish you and that entire portion of Florida well in that recovery.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.